Top 5 currently trending TradingView indicators put through our scoring system, ranked from lowest performing to highest. Clear explanations of what they offer and if they are worth adding to your charts. Let's see what we have got here this time. Sniper entry and exit with stop loss and take profit, created by Consob version 2.0, is a trend following and trade management indicator built around EMA crossovers as its primary signal trigger. It takes a practical toolkit approach, combining widely used indicators into a scoring system and trade setup engine that attempts to consolidate the decision-making process into a single overlay. The core signal is straightforward. When EMA 9 crosses above EMA 21, a long signal fires. When it crosses below, a short triggers. From that point, the indicator calculates stop loss and 5 take profit levels using ATR 14 as the risk unit. The stop is placed 1.5 times ATR from entry by default, and targets are stacked at 1 through 5 times that same risk distance, updating labels in real time and marking hit targets visually. Layered on top is a dual scoring system built from 7 conditions each for bullish and bearish bias, including price position relative to VWAP, RSI, on both the current time frame and a hard-coded 5-minute time frame, MACD line direction, EMA alignment, ADX strength, and volume relative to its 20-period average. Results are expressed as a percentage and simplified into 4 bias states displayed in a left-side dashboard, alongside 16 rows of live market data. For traders who want a single place to read conditions without jumping between panels, that dashboard is genuinely useful. In trending environments with clear momentum, the confluence stack behind each signal is reasonable. The ATR-based target ladder also adapts to volatility automatically, which prevents the problem of fixed values becoming irrelevant as conditions shift. However, EMA crossovers are inherently lagging, and entering at the crossover point often means the favorable portion of the move has already passed. There is no dynamic stop trail or break-even logic, so position management beyond identifying the target levels is entirely manual. The packaging is clean and the dashboard is informative, but EMA crossover signals are among the most lagging entry methods available, which limits edge in competitive markets. The lack of dynamic stop management and the inflexible 5-minute RSI input are practical gaps that more experienced traders will feel immediately. Directional Logistic Oscillator, created by Gein's Algo, is a momentum and directional strength indicator that applies logistic probability transformation to the standard DMI components, converting raw directional index values into a bounded oscillator with a more statistically grounded output than a typical ADX-based tool. The core calculation takes the plus DI, minus DI, and ADX values and runs each through a logistic function that measures how far each reading sits from its long-term average, scaled by a slope factor before being compressed into a 0 to 1 probability range. The result is smoothed with an EMA and displayed as a column histogram, with stronger and weaker shades of the bull and bear colors distinguishing momentum intensity from direction alone. 2 signal types are available. Reversion signals fire when the smooth cycle line changes direction, identifying local turning points in the oscillator. Mean reversion signals trigger when the oscillator crosses back from percentile-based extreme zones, using the 10th and 90th percentiles of the SMA line and the 5th and 95th percentiles of the EMA line as dynamic thresholds. Both signal types plot directly on the price chart as small arrows and have dedicated alert conditions, along with zero-line cross alerts for basic directional shifts. In practice, this works best as a trend filter or confirmation tool, alongside a price-based entry method. The percentile thresholds adapt to recent oscillator behavior, rather than using fixed levels, which makes the extreme zone signals more relevant across different market conditions and instruments. The intrabar update toggle is a practical addition for traders who want real-time responsiveness on the current bar, rather than waiting for confirmation. Customization is solid, covering DI length, mean lookback, slope steepness, smoothing lengths, scale sensitivity, signal toggles, and colors. The logistic transformation applied to DMI components is a genuinely different approach that adds statistical context most directional oscillators lack. The dual signal system covers both trend continuation and mean reversion scenarios, which broadens its practical application. The 360 bar default mean lookback is a significant lag factor on lower timeframes and worth adjusting before drawing conclusions from the output. Loop Pro, created by the Real Drip to Rip, is a trend-following signal indicator built around a range filter as its core detection engine, layered with multiple confluence checks, multi-time frame alignment, and an optional pivot level system. The name stands for finally long or obviously panicking, which at least tells you something about the intended audience. The range filter calculates an ATR-based threshold, scaled by a sensitivity input, then trails price by that amount in whichever direction it is moving. When the filter changes direction, a raw signal fires. That signal then passes through 3 separate gates before reaching the chart: an EMA alignment check, an ADX filter requiring trend strength above a set threshold, and a choppiness index filter that blocks signals when the market is range-bound. A cool-down period prevents repeated signals within a set number of bars. Signals that fail any gate are shown as small crosses rather than full labels, giving visibility into what is being filtered out. The signal strength score runs from 0 to 14, combining multi-time frame range filter alignment across 5 time frames, EMA and momentum scoring, sensitivity cross-checks at fixed values of 3, 5, 12, and 16, volatility rank, and the higher time frame bias. Scores of 11 and above are flagged as high quality, with dedicated alert conditions for those setups specifically. Pivot levels are a separate but integrated feature, supporting classic, Fibonacci, and Camarilla formulas across a user-defined time frame. Levels change color dynamically when price breaks through them, which adds practical reference without requiring a separate indicator. In real trading use, the multi-gate filtering approach is the strongest part of the indicator. Blocking signals during low ADX and high choppiness conditions meaningfully reduces whipsaw entries that a raw range filter would otherwise produce. The layered filtering system is well thought out, and the signal strength scoring gives traders a basis for selectivity rather than taking every signal blindly. The pivot integration is a genuine bonus. The ML references in the tooltips and comments are unverified marketing language rather than documented methodology, which is worth noting before placing weight on those specific claims. Before we get to the top 2, if any of these tools are leaving you wanting more from your charts, Quantum Ribbon Pro is a comprehensive trend trading system with basically everything you need. Link in the description. Let's continue. HTF reversal divergences created by LuxAlgo is a separate pane RSI indicator that combines higher timeframe candlestick pattern detection with RSI divergence identification, overlaying the pattern visuals directly on the price chart while keeping the RSI and divergence lines in the indicator pane below. The RSI divergence logic uses pivot highs and lows with adjustable left and right look-back periods to find points where price makes a lower low, but RSI makes a higher low for bullish divergence, and the inverse for bearish. When confirmed, lines are drawn on both the price chart and the RSI pane connecting the relevant pivot points, with labels marking each signal. The pivot-based approach means signals are only confirmed after the right look-back bars have elapsed, which introduces lag but avoids false positives from unconfirmed swings. The higher time frame pattern detection pulls the previous completed candle from a user-defined time frame and checks for bullish or bearish engulfing patterns and pin bars, specifically hammers and shooting stars. When a pattern is detected, the indicator draws a visual representation of that candle on the price chart using boxes for the body and a line for the wick, anchored to the actual time of that higher time frame bar. This gives lower timeframe traders a clear visual marker of where a potential reversal signal formed on the larger time frame without switching charts. The PO3 feature, which stands for power of 3, projects the current in-progress higher time frame candle to the right of price as a live updating candle, showing the open, high, low, and current close, with connecting dashed lines to their origin bars. Volume delta for the current candle is displayed below it. This is the most distinctive feature of the indicator and genuinely useful for traders who want to track how the higher timeframe candle is developing in real time. The combination of higher timeframe pattern visualization and RSI divergence in a single tool is practical and well executed. The live PO3 candle projection is a standout feature that adds real analytical value. The divergence detection is standard pivot-based logic with no additional confluence filter, so signal quality varies considerably with market conditions. Swing Profile, created by Big Beluga, is a volume distribution indicator that maps trading activity across each swing leg of price movement. Rather than applying a static volume profile to a fixed time window, it attaches the profile directly to each detected swing, giving traders a view of where volume concentrated during that specific directional move. The detection logic uses highest high and lowest low over a user-defined swing length to identify pivot points, then monitors for direction changes to finalize each leg. When a swing completes, the indicator divides the price range of that leg into bins sized using half of ATR 200, accumulates volume per bin across every bar within that swing, and renders the result as a horizontal profile anchored to the swing. The point of control, the bin with the highest volume, is marked with a dedicated line. Buy and sell volume are tracked separately per bin and accessible via tooltip on each swing label, showing total volume, buy volume, sell volume, and delta as a percentage. Two display modes are available. The standard profile view renders the histogram as a polyline outline with gradient-filled boxes. The heat map mode fills boxes horizontally across the full swing width, showing volume intensity as a color gradient rather than bar width. Both modes update in real time as the current swing develops, rebuilding on each bar until a new pivot confirms the direction change. In practical use, the point of control levels from completed swings act as reference zones on future price revisits, similar to how session volume profiles are used, but scoped to swing structure rather than time. Traders can identify where the market did the most work during a rally or decline, and use those levels as potential reaction areas if price returns. The delta percentage adds a directional dimension, distinguishing between swings where buyers dominated and those where sellers were in control despite similar price ranges. Customization covers swing length, color settings for up and down moves, zigzag line style, point of control color and width, profile or heat map toggle, and label size. The swing-scoped volume profile is a genuinely useful concept that most free tools do not offer, and the real-time update behavior adds meaningful live trading utility. The bin sizing tied to ATR 200 is not adjustable, which can produce poorly proportioned profiles on certain instruments or timeframes, and the absence of alerts limits its use as an active signal tool. We have recently introduced the complete QR Pro BST ecosystem. 1 workflow, 3 tools. Backtest your settings, scan for opportunities, and trade with confidence. Link in the description if you want to see how it works.